Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. There's a time to laugh, there's a time to cry, and there's a time to die, but not yet. Gladiator. This is the time to live. I'm making this video because I think a lot of you don't give yourself credit enough for loving yourself and for fighting for yourself. A lot of you feel, and maybe even been told, you don't love yourself. You know, even if it was by a well-meant therapist, and it still kind of makes you feel like, oh, I don't love myself, and it hurts. And I think a lot of you fight for yourself, for your love, to love yourself a lot more than you realize. In fact, right now you're watching this video, whether you're conscious of it or not, because you're looking for answers. You're trying to find something that will make you feel better, something that will help you shift or change. And here's what I think it is for a lot of people. I know it was for me for a long time. You know, everything I've said in this video so far, and this is essentially the same thing with all my videos, I'm speaking from personal experience. I'm not saying, hey, you need to fix yourself. I'm speaking from, I've been there, I've been through it. Now I'm on the other side. At least with a lot of things that I've dealt with, I'm on the other side of that bridge, so to speak. And one of the biggest ones for me, which I think a lot of you are going to relate to, is you feel or believe that you need to be fixed, or there's something that if I can just fix it, then I can be happy, then I can just go live my life. Now there's a couple things that I've learned along the way that have really helped me to shift my, I don't know what the right word is, perspective on myself. Maybe that's how to say it. One thing people will tell you is, you were born a beautiful baby, a beautiful child. Now, if you talk to Christians, they'll say, no, you were born into sin, you're a sinner. And if you take on that dirty thought, that's how you're going to feel. I'm going to say this real quick. This is not meant to be a religious video. God looks at you as pure. You are beautiful. You are this amazing being. You're his child. I mean, think of a parent who has a newborn child. God loves you. I mean, with pure love, and thinks pure thoughts of you. Somewhere along the line, you were hypnotized. And I literally mean that. Now, I'm not just saying that lightly. You were hypnotized to believe that you were no good, that there was something wrong with you. And here's the thing, they never really tell you what it is. And that's part of the game, and it is a narcissistic tactic. It's like, okay, I'm going to say a phrase that I think a lot of you have been saying unconsciously for a long time, never realized it. It's like no matter what you do, it's just wrong. You just feel like even if you work hard, well, people are mad at you because you work hard, and it makes them look bad because they're kind of lazy, and therefore you mad at you because that. And then when you back off a little bit, then they're saying, oh, you're lazy, you're not working hard, and it's like literally no matter what you do, it's just wrong. And the way they do it is, it's like no matter what you do, they find a way, even if they bullshit you and twist something in half and reverse it and add words to it and take words out to change it, they just want you to feel like you're wrong. And that's the goal. So it doesn't matter what you do. They're just going to constantly tell you that. And so what happened is you started to feel like you're wrong. And what happens is it's called a self-punishment cycle. And that's what narcissists do. They want you to start punishing yourself so they can move on to the next victim. And not only that, but they think it's hilarious. They watch you do this. And once you start self-punishing, they laugh. I mean, why would you have to tell someone every Sunday in church that they're a sinner, they're going to hell, they're born into sin, blah, blah. It not only makes you feel like shit, it makes you look at the world like the world is shit. One thing we have learned of the I am is whatever you believe is, or I am, is what your unconscious mind begins to create and see. This is hypnosis. The most basic premises of hypnosis is saying something over and over and over and over until you believe it. Now, there's positive hypnosis. See, there's negative beliefs, and then there's positive supporting beliefs. I would challenge you to say that you probably have some negative beliefs, some negative thoughts, some negative perspectives about yourself. So to tell someone over and over that you're a sinner, you're born into sin, and I don't even want to say that anymore, is they did it because they wanted to make sure that you believe that. So now you feel bad. God doesn't look at you that way. I don't think that. I know that. God does not look at you like that. God looks at you as you're this pure being that God created. The after effect was from the devil, was from the narcissist. All right, so here's one of the things that I learned in psychology class. It was applied psychology. The professor had said, essentially, here's what we're doing. Essentially, you are like this pure, clear, white energy. You're just this pure ball of energy that's beautiful. You're perfect. He said, the thing is, someone came along and they taught you a lie and you believed it, and then they taught you a limiting belief, and then they said, oh well, this means that, so money's the root of all evil, or the more money you have, the more stress you have, and all of a sudden it's like these are all little dark dirt, maybe dirt put around the ball of energy that you are, a little here, a little there. You grow a little older, someone yells at you, someone hurts your feelings, somebody sets you up, somebody tells you you're no good, or this is wrong about you. In my life, I can't tell you how many people who have been pissed off at me because I work hard. I can't tell you how many people have been pissed off because I would achieve a goal that I did on my own that they had nothing to do with. But they're mad because they didn't achieve the same goal that they never worked towards. So now, well, why? And they would say, why would you do this to me? I'm like, who are you? What are you talking about? I didn't do anything to you. So you start getting these little marks, dirts put around your beautiful, crystal clear, beautiful ball of light and energy and love. Because that's what you really are. The problem is you start looking through this covered ball of beautiful, pure white light and energy, which you are, and you're looking through the dirt that was it's kind of like on a glass window, there's dirt on it. When you clean it off, all of a sudden you're like, wow, you see the beauty of life. You see the beautifulness of yourself. Now, when I learned that, I was like, man, that's true. He goes, look, haven't you, okay, so I was really involved in NLP and Ericksonian hypnosis at the time, and we really go into discovering our limiting beliefs and limiting decisions and the rules that we were taught as a child that we never even realized consciously. These were rules that we just took on because, well, that's what my family believes, or that's what my community believes, or that's what my church believes, or that's what, and you never even realized that you took those beliefs on. You just lived by them without even questioning them, going, well, wait a minute, who said this? Who made this up? So the professor said, he goes, my job as a psychologist is to clean that up on the outside of your ball, to clean a little here, a little there, until we clean the whole thing, and then you're just this pure being. And you think, well, then I'll be perfect. No, you already are perfect. That's the point. If somebody came along to a 2-year-old child and says, oh, you're ugly, or oh, you're no good, or you're bad, right? Well, that's their stuff. That's their stuff that they're putting onto a pure being. That's not you at all. Underneath all of this dirt, all of these Mars, all these projections is the real you, and the real you is beautiful. When you really, really realize that, your whole life will shift. You'll start hearing yourself say things like that internal voice, something bad, oh, I'm such an idiot, oh, I'm so stupid, and you're going to realize that's not my voice. That's not me. That's my mom's voice, or that's my brother's voice, or that's my neighbor's voice, or that's my ex's voice. You're going to realize that's not even your voice. And you're like, that's not true. I promise you, after listening to what I just said, you could stop the video right now. I promise you. You watch the next couple days, next couple weeks, maybe even months and years, you're going to be like, man, that's not my voice. I didn't believe that. You're going to start realizing that's something that someone said to you all the time. It's not true. Now, here's another thing I'm going to point out on purpose. You are fighting for yourself. You're fighting for your happiness. You are, even when you think you're not. Okay, for example, there's something called doom scrolling, like when you just scroll all night on YouTube or, I don't know, whatever, Facebook or what's TikTok or whatever. You're actually looking for answers. You're trying to find something that will help you to feel better. or something to put things into perspective or help you to understand something like, why are people mad at me, or why this, and like, I don't understand. Even when you think you're not doing it, you are doing it. You are fighting for yourself. Here's another wonderful realization I had is people project. Projection is they feel, okay, let's say somebody feels bad about themselves. For whatever reason, they feel ashamed, they feel this or that. And most people do not want to deal with their own issues, their own internal stuff. What they do, though, is they like to project it onto other people because they're looking through that video of themselves, of something they feel bad about. And maybe it was something they did, or maybe it's just something that someone else said to them when they were a child. And then they try to project it on the people around them. Because they can't possibly be like, no, this isn't me. It is you, because everywhere you go, that's where you are. Wherever you go, that's where you are. In other words, your emotions, your feelings, your bad thoughts, it doesn't matter what friend you have, what new boyfriend you have, what new girlfriend you have. You get divorced from this person, I'll move on to someone else because they're going to be better. As long as you're projecting your stuff onto other people, well, that's the feelings you're going to create. So one of the biggest realizations I began to realize is like, okay, I'm going to say this real quick. So during our NLP Master Practitioner training towards the end, it said, look, there's something we got to warn you about. You are going to get clients that project onto you. They are going to swear that you are the same thing they came in to deal with. They also said, we promise you, you're going to hear stuff that you've never even seen in a movie, you read in a book, you never even heard of. And they're going to say that, oh, you're doing this to me. And you're like, wait, what? The other thing they said to wrap this up is that you'll get a client that says, oh, you were like the nicest person in the world. And then the next client will be like, oh, you're the meanest person in the world. And you're like, whoa. And he goes, it's going to mess with your mind, because then the next client's going to say, wow, you're the most calm, relaxed person I've ever met. And then the next one's be, oh my God, you have so much anxiety. And they will throw all this stuff on you. And from their perspective, looking through their own issues, through their own filters, they really believe it. And that's the challenging part. So at first I thought, nah, that's not going to happen to me. I'll be aware of that. Oh, it did happen to me, and I got caught up in it. And it kind of makes you feel a little bit wacko, like, whoa, like, am I this or am I not? Like, what? Which one is it? So you start to realize, like, oh, this is their issue. Like, for example, they'll come into the session and they'll tell you what their issue is. And then about 6 or 7 sessions later, now they're saying that you're the same as their issue that they came in with. One of the techniques we use is we point out, like, do you remember when you came in and what you came in for? They're like, yeah, why? I'm like, you're projecting that onto me now. And then they have an aha moment, which is really good, actually. I'm actually glad this happened to me in my mid-20s, because as I moved into my late 20s and early 30s, I was very aware of, like, oh, this isn't my stuff, this is theirs. And I don't mean clients. It could be friends. It could be family. It could be a stranger at the grocery store. People walk around with their issues and they're constantly pushing them onto other people. When you start to realize that's not you, that's them. One thing I learned to do is mentally take a step back. There's actually a technique that I can teach you how to do. It takes a while to learn and develop and practice it. But you take a step back mentally and emotionally, and it's like you're watching from a distance psychologically, and you start watching this person do the same thing to everyone around them. And you begin to realize, like, that wasn't me at all. They're saying this about this other person they've never met, and then about this person, and then about that person. So you start watching people and you start realizing, like, oh, that's their issue. That's the movie that's playing in their head. You got to understand, inside your head, you are like the person watching the movie. In the back of your head, say, you know, in the movie, say, literally, it's like you're inside the movie theater. That's inside your head. In the back, up in the wall, is literally the camera, the projector, we call it, where it has the movie strip on it, and it shoots it out of this little square onto the screen, and you're looking out front, outside, and that's the movie that's being played. What I'm asking you to do is take a step back outside of your own movie theater and start watching other people's movies. When you start looking at from that perspective, you're going to be like, wow, this has nothing to do with me. And what that realization does for you, it makes you realize, wait a minute, I'm actually a good person. All this stuff that's being thrown around, it's not me, it's not them. See, because everyone's doing it to everyone. This isn't just unique to you. Now, here's the really cool thing that I began to realize about 6 or 7, maybe 8 years ago. Like consciously, I heard it, but I really locked in. It became really, really clear to me. People who love themselves, people who are good to themselves, who are kind to themselves, who are gentle to themselves, who think good of themselves, they think good of the people around them. They're kind to people around them. They love people around them. Those are the people that are going to treat you well and think well of you. People who have a healthy self-love, a healthy self-esteem, a healthy self-respect, they love other people. They respect other people. Here's another thing. People that have healthy, strong, healthy boundaries, they respect other people's boundaries because they're aware of boundaries. It's the people who don't have any boundaries, i.e. narcissists, etc., that walk all over other people's boundaries. You could tell them 100 times, hey, don't do that. They don't understand the concept of boundaries literally until somebody punches them in the face. And I'm not trying to be mean here or being negative, but that's what it takes for some people to go, oh, I can't do that to you. No, you can't. So for those people, the only thing you can truly do is just walk away. There's nothing else you can do. You can talk to them till you're blue in the face. It's not that they don't understand your language, say English in my case. It's that they don't know what boundaries are. They've heard of them. Okay, what's a boundary? What are you talking about? It's like they don't have boundaries, so therefore they don't understand what boundaries are when someone gives them to them. Even when you enforce it, they just keep plowing through. Whereas people who do have healthy boundaries, who can enforce them, who do understand, like, hey, these are my boundaries, that's not cool. Those are the people that respect other people's boundaries because they're aware of boundaries. They understand boundaries consciously. Now, people who don't love themselves, people who are not good to themselves, people who are not kind to themselves, guess what? They're not kind to other people. They're not good to other people. They don't love other people. It's because they don't know how. They don't understand the concept. Now, if you think I'm kidding, I'm not. All right, think of it like this. People who are really good at making money, they can give other people money. They can also show you how to make money. People who don't know how to make money, people who are poor, people who don't have money, they can't give you money because they don't have it. It's the same thing with love. How are they going to love you if they don't know how to love themselves? They don't know how to love. They don't have that skill. They don't have that ability. That was a life-changing awareness for me. I'm like, yeah, this person, all they're going to do is they're going to humiliate you. They're going to play mind games. They can't help it. And here's the thing. I'm not even mad at them anymore. I just like, they don't have the ability to do it. So poor people can't teach you how to be rich because they don't know how. Poor people with self-love don't know how to love you. They don't know how to teach you how to love yourself. See, life is about realizations. You start seeing things from other perspectives going, oh, this guy's a jerk and he's not going to change. And it's not even because he's being stubborn. It's a lot of times, like, you got to understand, self-love, if it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. It's kind of a challenge because it's like, well, what is self-love? Well, self-love is if you've got a boundary where, hey, I don't want people doing drugs around me, and then you got people doing drugs around you. Well, you don't have self-respect. You don't have self-love. You're like, no, that's just not my thing. I don't do that. I don't want to be around that. Now, if you're okay with people doing drugs and you don't do drugs, well, that's fine. That's your boundary. If you're okay with it. Now, if someone's treating you like shit, trying to hurt you, and you're okay with that, that would be a challenge on self-love and healthy boundaries. I mean, you really have to be honest with yourself. Like, why are you okay with someone treating you like crap? In the past, there was a group of people who I helped quite a bit, actually quite a lot. They'd always come to me, ask me, hey, Mike, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And they bailed on me. They turned on me. And so I was like, wait, what's going on? Now, this had happened more than once, and it hurt so bad one time. I was like, oh, I'm done. I'm completely done. I don't even acknowledge them. I walk right by. I don't even look at them. I don't know. I don't care. Now, here's the reason why. Because they're not going to change. It's not even they're mean people. It's This is their pattern. And right there is really what a good lesson here is. When you start to see people's patterns, go, oh, okay, this is who they are. These are their patterns. Patterns, unless someone willingly, wantingly wants to work with an NLP trainer who can help them change their patterns, they're not going to. A lot of people don't even know what patterns are. They're unconscious. They don't know they're doing it. But in their mind, well, hey, this is, and they have all the reasons, all the excuses, all the whatever. It's not even them trying to be mean. It's just like, it's just who they are. You heard the phrase when it comes to narcissists, like when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Well, that's what I'm saying. So once I see someone's patterns and it's not good towards me, I'm done. I'm out. And I'm not going to, I don't even bring it up. I just don't talk to them anymore. That's boundaries. And you might be going, so you think they should change? No, not at all. I just don't interact with that. Hey, if that's what hey, that's your thing, this is my thing, it doesn't work, that's fine. Now, again, one of the reasons why is people rarely change their patterns. People rarely grow. People rarely learn. Some people live their whole life with the same belief they've had since they were 2 years old, never even consciously being aware of it, never even challenging it, going, wait a minute, do I really believe this? Or is this something I still believe after everything I've learned in life? Well, a lot of people don't learn from their mistakes. And again, that's fine. Move on. So these are some of the things, the realizations that I've had over the years that have really helped me come to peace, to live at peace, to... Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect and I walk on water. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it has lightened the load massively. Because number one, I believe that you deserve to live a lighter life, a life that's funner, happier, and more peaceful, and internally inside your skull and your heart and your body to be more peaceful, a more enjoyable place to be. That's it. Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. If you want to live a happier, more content, more meaningful and fulfilling life, and you want to make some changes, this is what I do for a living. Now, you might be thinking, well, you just talk a lot? No, I do an actual series of NLP techniques, Ericksonian hypnosis techniques. I do a series of timeline therapy techniques that will help you to massively shift and change and begin to heal and begin to break through to living the life of your dreams, to at least living a life that's more peaceful, more content, a life that has meaning, something that's more meaningful, at least adding pieces here and there where life becomes better, more fulfilling. Oh, who am I kidding? You're going to have a massive life transformation with me. If you do 10 sessions with me, your whole world's going to shift. Your whole perspective on life, yourself, is going to shift. Not only shift, but you're going to do some parts work, some parts integration, some parts healing. See, we have these things inside called parts that are in conflict with each other. Part of me wants to do this, the other part of me doesn't want to do that. Part of me wants to make money, but another part of me thinks money's the root of all evil, or believes that, like my mom used to say, the more money you have, the more stress you have. So you work towards money, then you walk away from it because you're afraid of it. So you start to integrate and heal these parts, and all of a sudden, instead of being pulled in two directions, now these parts are together like one engine going in the same direction without resistance. Life begins to become fun. It starts becoming more of a flow. It simply just becomes easier, a little bit lighter here, a little bit lighter there as you move along. And it just becomes more enjoyable. Things become fun. It's like you're doing what you want to do, and that's what makes you feel better. And things start to fall in place more and more and more. One of the ways they explain this to us during our practitioner NLP training is, think of it as two engines in a car. One engine is pulling you forward in the direction you want to go, but then you've got an engine in the rear pulling you in reverse. So now these two engines are fighting each other, going in two different directions, and they're burning up. They're burning up the engines. They're burning up the transmission, and that's what you feel like inside. Like you have this push and pull thing going on. You're burning up, and you fight, and you fight against your fears, and you fight. See, here's the deal: we can get rid of those fears. We can shift and align everything. It's simply put like this. Now what we do when we integrate things and heal things, it's like you take the engine in the rear and you put it in front next to the other engine going in the same direction as the front engine, and all of a sudden all the resistance is gone. You take your foot off the brakes. You're not being pulled apart anymore. This is why it seems like some people, for some reason, things just work for them. They have all the luck. It's not luck. It's not some kind of blessing. It's that they're more in alignment than you are, and things do come easier to them because they're not fighting themselves. You know, maybe when they were a child, instead of someone saying something negative, let's just take money because it's a universal experience, is instead of it being a negative belief like money's the root of all evil, or the more money you have, the more stress you have, someone came along that was very successful and very happy and peaceful, saying, man, the more money you have, the more fun you have. Life is great. So they take on this belief as a little kid, and in that one area of life, they do very, very well because this is a fun thing. This is something that they enjoy doing. And because they don't have that resistance of a negative belief pulling them in the opposite direction, they're just like, I don't know. I just seem to be able to make money. I don't really work hard at it. And that's the difference between someone having a series of negative beliefs. Because here, trust me, you don't have just one belief when it comes to money. I guarantee it. You also have decisions, negative rules about money, and all this stuff that suddenly clogs up the pipes. My job is to clear up the pipes, to clear up the limiting beliefs, limiting decisions, and heal the emotions and negativity around it to where now you're going in the same direction with yourself versus fighting yourself. Now, watch this. So you might have this person that just when it comes to work, money, making money, having money, everything just works out for them. They're very wealthy. They do very, very well. And they're lighthearted about it. And there's fun because there's no resistance. But in another area, let's say relationships, it sucks. It's hell. It's a nightmare. It's like nothing works out for them. So they do really well in one area, but man, over in this other area, holy shit, it just does not work out. Sure enough, we go into their belief system or their emotional system. We find out what's going on. Yep, they got a couple things going on here. Like, you know, women are this or women are that, or men are this or men are that. And all of a sudden you start to uncover things. Like maybe it was when you were a little kid, like in my family, my mom would just yell at my dad every night when he came from home for work when we were in bed, yelling and screaming for hours. You think I'm kidding? I mean, literally for an hour and a half or more. And it was just the saddest thing in the world. So to me, I began to relate that relationships are arguing and fighting. So you heal that up and all of a sudden, boom, dating and relationships works out really well for this person as well. Okay, so I spoke at Hewlett-Packard years ago in my mid-20s when I first finished the NLP trainers training, etc. I got invited to speak at Hewlett-Packard 4 times, and what happened was one of the executives was losing his butt financially when it came to the stock market. In fact, he was in the negative 200,000. So his wife was stressed, he was stressed, and it was literally the simplest thing. Again, it's something I learned in NLP. I'm like, oh, so you're normally I would say be associated, right? Emotionally invested. But in some things you're not, or you're in. Okay, let me just use his example. He was so associated, meaning emotionally connected to the stock market, that he was doing it in the opposite way. Now, I am not a genius when it comes to investing, but I do believe because of NLP, I had an understanding that probably most people didn't. And it was very obvious. I'm like, well, so what are you doing? He's like, well, you know, Mike, when the stocks start going down, I panic and I freak out. And I go, do you sell when it goes down? He goes, yeah. I'm like, no, that's not what you're supposed to do. And he goes, and then when they go up, that's when I buy. I go, so you're literally buying high and selling low. He goes, yeah. And his wife looked at me, rolled her eyes, and not in a negative way, but she was kind of like, yeah, like we're losing our butt. And I'm like, no. So what I found out was he was emotionally attached to the stock market. So he was selling at the wrong place and buying at the wrong place. Well, no wonder why he was losing his ass. So all I had to do was dissociate him from the stock market so he could look at it more logically and going, oh, you're supposed to sell when it goes high and buy when it goes low. Now there's a little bit more invested, like you have to know if a stock is going down, you need to make sure that that company is strong. Now there's a lot of things to that I'm not going to get into right now, but if you know the inside things like, hey, they got a strong management, they got a strong leader, the workers are committed, and they have maybe like incoming materials to do what they need to do, you're like, oh, well, this company's going to bounce back, and here's why. So he called me up about 4 months later, and he said, I'm out of the red. He goes, I think, yeah, red is in the negative. And he goes, I'm in the blue or black, or I forget how they say that. So he was actually up more than $250,000 after 4 months. There are answers to your problems. That's what I'm saying. God bless you guys. If you enjoyed this video, click subscribe, click the like button, go ahead and make a comment. And as always, if you want, you can go ahead and support this channel. There's a PayPal link right there in the description box. You can go ahead and make a donation if you feel like you want to. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.